That's what so many investors are worried about, that they're coming in to do Series A and like, how much of this stuff is really real? And for us, with the tech stack in place, it was clear that we had done this the right way, that we had a data model, and that we were producing legitimate data, and all we needed was more to scale. For a lot of companies pre-Series A, they might have some data how things have been going, and they might be able to put together some charts and tables saying, here's what we've had, here's what we've not had. But when you can put up a diagram showing your tech stack and the different pieces that are already in place, not just to collect the data and show that your data is meaningful, that the data you're giving them has been processed and vetted and collected, and there's some data integrity to it, but also show that it's scalable. That with an investment in a Series A, that you're going to be able to know quicker with the money that they've invested, whether or not what you're doing is working or whether or not you need to adjust. And having that in place gives everybody a certain peace of mind that their money is well spent. And having all this built out to show them seeing the direction, and the fact that all we needed was money to accelerate. It wasn't we need you to give us money to put all this stuff in place. It was this stuff is in place and it's collecting data, and now we just need to go. When they asked for data and said, what's your plan? What's your conversion rate? I'd give them the numbers. And then I'd show them our tech stack and that what we were using to get it. And it gave legitimacy to our numbers, that we weren't just making it up in a spreadsheet in the background, right? I've been through 4 startups before this one. So, I said, guys, here's what I've done wrong in the past. I do not want to do this wrong again. What really, I think, sold the C-suite and board on it was when we started talking about the art of the possible. What kind of reports that they would get out of scaleMatters and Salesforce that they hadn't seen before. And, while it looked like something that maybe a larger company could do, a company further along could do, I was like, no, we can do this. We can be here with scaleMatters and Salesforce and a little bit of effort, some time, and get it all built and actually collect enough data. It's going to be meaningful. The very first time I handed the board or my boss this chart, their minds were like going to blow up, like the end to end of knowing, okay, we spent this much on this and got this ARR out of it at the end. Like they were like, what? And they're like, well, do you believe in this data? I'm like, yeah, I believe in this data. Before BlackCloak, I was in 4 different companies with 4 different tech stacks for marketing and sales. And really, and if I think about those different organizations I've been in, where marketing might have their system and sales have their system, and there's an API pushing stuff back and forth, the reason there's a real problem with stuff going back and forth has nothing to do with the tech. It has to do everything to do with an end-to-end vision of what the machine is and how it interplays with itself. It goes to the fact that data integrity doesn't just mean, are your reps putting stuff in? Data integrity means you have a clear definition of what you're trying to measure. And that definition of what matters, what you're trying to measure, is consistent through every aspect of the tech stack build. So I knew without a doubt when I got here at BlackCloak that the very most important thing for us as a company is ARR. And with scaleMatters, we're connecting the dots from end to end for ARR. And that is often missing and has been for the longest time in every tech stack I've been in, no matter which pieces I was using. You cannot build this in pieces and have it work. You have to build it holistically from the start with the right data. Marketing has to be on board, sales has to be on board. It has to be one vision for an information architecture from end to end. I've been down that path before where I get Salesforce in and either try and build it myself or get a Salesforce consulting firm to come in and set it up for me. And I probably would have done that if I hadn't had scaleMatters to turn to. What I liked about scaleMatters was the importance of the data architecture and the data cleanliness, data integrity from the get-go, that it wasn't just about putting the pieces in place or setting up the fields. It was about understanding what reports were going to come out of it and how the whole thing was going to go together and how the data was going to be maintained. And the fact that scaleMatters was going to let me also use one of their resources, an outsourced RevOps person. I didn't have to hire someone in place myself. I couldn't afford a full-time person. At pre-Series A, there was no way we were going to hire a full-time RevOps person. And part-time, ultimately, if you're getting someone part-time from a consulting firm, they've got 20 other clients and maybe all those clients do things differently. But with scaleMatters, I'm getting a RevOps person who has bought into our data architecture, who understands exactly how the model is going to work. And it's like having a full-time person, but not on my staff.